Hi, welcome to ClassThink. Today I'm with Shane Asselstine, a teacher from the US. He's using the popular game Minecraft to create learning environments for his students. Hi Shane, how are you?
Good, thank you, Carl.
Do you just want to tell us a bit about you, introduce yourself, and how you got into this sort of using Minecraft for learning?
Yeah, so I'm a curriculum and technology coordinator at my school, and I also teach classes for math and of course technology. I got into Minecraft probably at the end of last school year, so sometime in April, May. The kids have been asking me, we should play Minecraft in the lab, we should do this, it's educational, and I kept putting it off until my aunt, who is a retired teacher in California, had said, you should really try this. So, of course, once my teacher is my aunt, of course, once she says try it, so I booted up, checked it out. And after that, that was it. It was just go, and learn and build, for lessons and educating. So it's been great.
So was it something that your students encouraged you, sort of pushed you into doing? Or were you aware of Minecraft before that?
Actually, I was not aware of Minecraft until the kids started mentioning it, like at the beginning of last year. Mm-hmm. So, once we finally did it, the enthusiasm and engagement for the kids was just off the charts.
That's brilliant. And so what we're looking at the moment is Minecraft EDU. How does that differ from sort of vanilla Minecraft? What's different to this?
That's a good question, actually. I kind of want to dispel some myths because there's been some, I guess, from its beta days before. That was way before I even started playing. So I guess in its beta days, it didn't have everything or something out. I'm not sure. But right now, the way that Minecraft EDU is, I work with the developers a lot, so sometimes that we slips out, but Teacher Gaming has just released a new a build 7 version of 1.64, which allows for world sharing and mod manager and all this kind of great stuff they've been working on. But as far as the actual differences go, the base game is exactly the same. The only thing that they do is they add teacher tools. So, for instance, I can freeze an entire class of 33 kids with a single button. I can mute them from chat with a single button. I can teleport them all to me with a single button. They've added a ton of teacher usable blocks, like, for instance, having the number blocks and the operation signs, multiplication, division, subtraction, all that kind of stuff. They've also created blocks where students are allowed to build, where students are not allowed to build, and what they've called border blocks, which is where students cannot go. So you can kind of keep the open world feel, which I do a lot in my maps, but still have them confined to a certain area.
Sure.
So it's brilliant the way they do they've added to the game. So yeah, to dispel the rumors I've been hearing, or a lot of people have felt, is that there's nothing different from the base game, and there's nothing stopping you from just playing the game the way the vanilla game is. So EDU just adds to the game.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much. So this what we're looking at now. Do you want to talk us through what the world we're seeing at the moment?
Sure. So I'll turn around here. This is, of course, my school logo way up in the sky. Using
very impressive.
It was a pixel art thing, so we were just playing around. Sure. This project here originally started at the end of last year. So what we're looking at is our school. This is actually a model of my school. The kids were so excited, as I mentioned, that we were finally going to get Minecraft EDU in. I decided to do kind of an after school kind of test to see how it would go. The very first day I opened the lab, I have 33 seats in my lab, and there were at least 25 students in my lab filling it up.
Wow, really?
As it gained popularity, I had to actually turn students away because I just didn't have any more chairs for them to sit in. Some of them just wanted to watch. You know what I mean? Like they said, I'll wait until a seat opens. I just want to watch until someone leaves, and then I can slip in, So it's a powerful engagement tool. anyway, so what we did was we kind of started building this first building, which is our admin building. And then some of the kids broke off and said, oh, we can do the parking lot. So they did the parking lot. And then we started working on the actual classrooms, which is the B building here, and the cafeteria. So way off in the distance there. It's really interesting because what I found exciting about this project and how impromptu it was that the kids would actually go out to the school and look to verify for details. Oh, really? And, oh, this tree was right here. Okay. And that there's this many parking spots here. And, so, I mean, if we're talking about integrating education, all these subjects together, I mean, how much more could you ask? What more could you ask for a real life project like this? Where they're trying to recreate something exactly as best they can, of course. So like I said, it was a great project for me to begin with, and it kind of sparked me to say, okay, I see it now. I definitely see it now. So
that's quite interesting. So you were slightly skeptical about it initially yourself.
A little bit. I mean, being that I'm a teacher, I've been teaching for 11 years now, and it's a situation where you're, how is this going to be received? And of course, is it really educational, or do they just want to play? And I have a background, my bachelor's in architecture, and I have multiple years of experience as a network manager. So structure and construction like this really appealed to me personally. But then when I saw the kids getting into it, I thought, wow, here we are talking, so many schools and systems talking about STEM. That's exactly what they're talking about. I dare anybody to tell me that this wasn't a STEM project that the kids worked on. I mean, they had math, they had science, there was design flaws. They actually went out to find out how much different this is. And it seems like a minor detail, but if you kind of look at the side of the admin building here, mm-hmm. there are 4 windows in that kind of section, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
And then if you look at the classrooms, they realized that there were not 4 windows. There was actually more than 4 windows. And the cafeteria, same thing. So that's kind of how they started to see their world in blocks.
Okay.
So they based it off of the windows that they saw, which was very interesting to me because I didn't even think about pointing that out. So we actually rebuilt the cafeteria multiple times because at first it was really, really super small and not to scale compared to the other buildings. But they had no problem redoing it. It was like, okay, because they wanted it to be as accurate as possible.
Wow. So were these students that were really getting engaged with it? Were these students who used Minecraft at home as entertainment, or were they unfamiliar with it, and this is something new for them?
We had a mixture of both. We had a mixture of students who had, were so-called experts at Minecraft, and we had some students who just felt the excitement, I guess, of the other students, so they just wanted to join in. And then when they saw what we were actually doing, working on the computers, building the school, all this kind of stuff, they jumped right in. And what was great is that the experts kind of took the non-experts under their wings and gave them kind of direction. So each of these sections had 4 or 5 kids working in it, and one of them would kind of become the area's foreman. So they were kind of saying, okay, well, this is what we need over here. Can you go and build this? And can you go and do that? And it just got done. I was just amazed at the great scale of it and how easily they just transitioned to those roles naturally.
Fantastic. I've just noticed your basketball courts over the back here as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Somebody came over here and said, I'll do the basketball court. So they came over here and, did the best that they could. So,
that's
yeah. So it's not 100%, but if you go ahead and Google Earth Hour School, you would actually notice that it looks pretty darn close to what we have. Yep.
That's amazing. Fantastic. So I noticed you had they sort of self-build areas over the back there.
Yes. Let's go take a shoot over here. So what we did over here was part of any project to get kids involved in it is to have them engage themselves in it, to somehow have investment in the map or into any project. So what I've done here is, if you were to actually cross this street from our school, it is an actual residential neighborhood. There are no stores, of course, but so what I did was I created residential plots for each of my kids. So they decided where they wanted to live, who they wanted to live beside, which is why you see some plots are still empty, because not all classes have come in to pick their plots. But so the neighborhood was basically created to have the kids have some kind of a final goal. with the overworld maps. So get the materials for their houses, the students actually have to complete what I call quests, which are actually lesson plans and questions. From there, they get paid. And then when they get paid, they get coins. They come back here and they can actually spend the coins in these stores. So if you were to look in any one of these stores here, you would notice that there's all vendors in here. So, for instance, this wonderful guy here, he sells records. And you'll see if you right click on him, a record will cost you 2 bronze coins and 1 stone coin. And those coins come from a mod called Custom NPCs, where there's 7 coins all the way from wood all the way up to, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say emerald. Yeah, so there's 7. So I can go up to $1 million or 1 million coins for the cost of something. Yeah.
So just interesting, who came up with the name Records? Is that something a student would go to MP3s or iTunes? Or?
Actually, it was very interesting because I guess they know records from the game, but they don't really kind of connect to with what they are. And in the game, it's actually called a music disc. So I was surprised when they wanted to call it records. I guess maybe their parents have records in the house. So they saw the picture and connected the two, I guess. But yeah, a very interesting point. Yeah, I never even thought about that. I just kind of accepted what they had put down. So, yeah, and all these categories, the kids actually helped me come up with these categories. And then me and Edu Elfie, he's another teacher I know in Australia who uses Minecraft at a secondary level. Anyway, we came up with, we spent a lot of time looking at all of the items we would sell, coming up with a spreadsheet that, that we could use to, the values are not just kind of random. They're specific based on how difficult it takes to get that item. Or, for instance, if you go down there and buy a bed, the cost of a bed should be slightly more expensive than the cost of buying 3 pieces of wool and 3 pieces of wood plank to make a bed. So it's all that stuff has been taken into consideration. Yeah, so these stores, as you walk down here, they're all built for kids in the summer. Okay, so this is on their own time. They volunteered. They so wanted to be part of the project. They wanted something in the world where all 4 of my grade levels, grades 3, 4, 5, 6, would interact with. So they're so proud when they see this, for instance, in the corner of their buildings, they've written down who built this building. So, they just have this beam of light when they see, other people using their buildings. So, this is a very interesting store. This is the pet store. There's one of my students here, and his only directive was he picked to make the pet store. So Jake W made the pet store. So he goes ahead and he makes this stuff. And what's very interesting is if you take a look at this chest in here, on his own, he actually wrote this book about how to take care of each of the pets that we sell in here, or that he sells in here. So, that was totally on his own. He made one big book, and this year he came to me and asked if he could separate the book into, like, if I buy a cow, I only get how to take care of a cow book. If I buy a pig, I get only how to take care of a pig, which I thought was great. I mean, the evolution of his thought process, and if you look at that, there are multiple pages in that book that, I mean, if I asked him to write all that stuff on a piece of paper, he might kind of, not so interested, thanks. But it's amazing how much we can get them to write right inside those game journals. And as you'll see later on in some of the maps I show you, we use that game journal mechanic quite a bit.
So is this something that students find quite engaging, being able to actually write in the world and have their work be sort of continue to be a part of the world and be able to be shared with other students like that?
Yeah, it's one more level of that investment in the map. The fact that it's their stores and their details and all that kind of stuff. And I try not to change anything, unless it causes, of course, gameplay issues. Then like, for instance, we actually had doors on all of these at one point, but we found that with so many kids on the server, the doors would lag out, so they would get stuck in the door going back and forth. So we said, forget the doors. So here's another feature, nice little tidbit feature. The kids decided they were going to put the painted lines on the road.
Oh, really?
Originally, we had just had it black, but they were like, no, we need all the painted lines in there. So, all right. And if you take a look here at the street sign, they wanted this too. So not only will a student get a plot of land, they'll have a street name, and eventually they'll even have a street address, which is what these bars are here for, that we're going to eventually fill in with numbers. So someone could tell you that they live specifically on this street at this number. You can go check out their house.